guys, Dr. Callahan here. How are you guys doing? This is for ProbStats Semester 1 for week 2, Tuesday. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, you guys have your warm-up right here. And so you guys have 3 different questions. First one is, what is your favorite time of the season? Mine is fall because there's just so many things to do. Question number 2, what is your favorite comic or comic book, superhero? And lastly, solve for X. In the fall, I always take my kids over to Apple Hill. It's one of our fondest memories, and so here are just some pictures from that. We also love the hot air balloons, which is canceled this year because of COVID, but that's okay. And your answer for question number 3 is 24/7. So from yesterday, you guys had your classroom assignment on your textbook, which was on the Google Doc, and you don't have to have a textbook because I took a snapshot of the photos and I uploaded on there. So here are the answers. There are 13 questions, so a total of 13 points. You can pause the video to go over this. All right, so from last class, we talked about 2.1, which is on basic set concept. There was a Kahoot, a Quizlet, this is your homework, and then an exit ticket. So keep this with you, and I will be collecting it upon return this Friday. Today we're going to talk about 2.2, which is going to be on probability subset. It is on page 8 of your guided notes. After that, we have a Quizlet. So here is a link for that. It's 10 questions. There's a quizzes. It's also 10 questions on similar topic. If you need to watch a video of a YouTube reviewing this again, this is a different video than the one that I have. You guys do have your first quiz, which is 2.1. You're just going to do it at home. And then tonight's homework is going to be on page 65 to 66, 2 to 50 evens. And keep in mind that you just need to have the Google Doc link in order to access that. This is the homework. This also is on, one second, let me move this little cursor. This is also on the Google Doc. So you don't need to have a textbook. Everything is here. All right, let's go ahead and get started on page 8. So what is a subset? This is your objective. You can read that on your own. Set A is a subset of set B. And as such, it is expressed as A with a little kind of backwards C with a line symbol of B. So A is a subset of B. Everything in A is also in B. If every element in set A is also in set B, the notation of this with a line cross through means that A is not a subset of B. A is not a subset of B if there is at least one element of subset A that is not an element of set B. Let's go over an example. Apply the subset definition. So you have A is a subset of B. Here is subset A. It says that X is a tattooed American between the ages of 25, less than or equal to X, and ages less or equal to 29. So with that subset, you will know that if it's going to be 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Because there is an equal sign, you're going to be including the 25 and the 29 and everything in between there. This is subset B, which is X is a tattooed American. So as you read this, is this of a tattooed American, ages between 25 to 29, into the subset of X is just a tattooed American? That would be true because this does not specify age and it is included in there. Next one, here we go. A is equal to 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Is A in the subset of B? If you look at the subset of B, that's 1 and 2. So is 1, 2, and 3 in the subset of B? Nope. So that one will be false. On the other hand, if I reverse this, is B, and B is 1 and 2, a subset of A? A is 1, 2, and 3. Is 1 and 2 in A? It is. So you can say B is a subset of A, and that will be true. Example 2. Set A is a proper subset of B expressed as A is a subset of B if set A is a subset of B and set A and B are not equal. Write these two symbols or both in the blank form to make the statement true. All right, let's take a look at this. A, subset A, X is a person and lives in San Francisco. B, X is a person that lives in California. So my first one is, if a person lives in San Francisco, does that mean they live in California? Yeah, that would be true. On the other hand, if a person lives in, California, does that mean that they must live in San Francisco? That would be false because I don't have to live in San Francisco. If I live in California, I could live in Santa Barbara. I could live in San Diego. So with that said, I could say that A is definitely a subset of B. And A is not equal to B because San Francisco does not mean you always have to be in California. All right, B. For B, I have A is 2468. B is 2846. So let's go ahead and go over the two different criteria. Number one, is A a subset of B? It is. And number two, A does not equal to B. All right, let's take a look at this part right here. As we increase the number of elements in the set by 1, the number of subsets, which is signified by 2 to the n power, where n equals the number of elements, the number of proper subset of a set with n element is going to be 2 to the n minus 1. Keep in mind that when you have exponents, 2 to the 6th power is not the same thing as 2 times 6, which is 12. That is not correct. 2 to the 6th power means that it is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times. So this gives me a 4, 4, 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So not 12, but 64. So be careful with the exponents. All right, let's go over example 3. With example 3, it says find the number of subsets and the number of proper subsets. So you just count how many letters are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your subset n is going to be n equals 5. Hold on, let me erase that. There we go. For subsets, it will be 2 to the n power. So in this case, it's 2 to the 5th power, which means you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 5 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Bring down the 2, which gives you 16 times 2, which is 32. That is a number of subsets. Now, on the other hand, to count for your proper subsets, it is 2 to the n minus 1. We know that 2 to the n is 32 minus 1 is going to give you 31. So you have subsets, which is equal to 32, and you also have proper subsets, which gives you 31. Let's go on to B. With B, you have x is between 9 and 15, and you have an equal sign, so you're going to be including those numbers. So in my subset, I include 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Those are all the numbers in between 9 and 15. So my n, counting the numbers in there are 7 numbers. So in order for me to find my subset, it's 2 to the n, in which case it's 2 to the 7th power, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If you have a calculator, you can probably do this a little bit quicker, but I don't, so I'm just going to do it by hand. 4, 4, 4, 2. 4 times 4 is going to give me 16. 16 times 4 is a 64. 64 times 2 is going to give me 128. That is my subset. Now, I also need to find the proper subset. Oops, there we go, back. Proper subset is 2 to the n minus 1. I know that my 2 to the n power is 128, minus 1 is 127. So there you have it, boys and girls. You have your subset of 128, and then you also have your proper subset of 127. And that is the end of our notes. So now what we're going to do is, if you feel fairly comfortable with what we just went over, you can go ahead and take the quiz on 2.1, which is from yesterday. 10 questions. Here are the first 6. You can pause it. They're multiple choice. And here is 7, 8, and 9. Pause the video, take the quiz. Okay, if you're done with this, let's go ahead and go over the answers. They're worth 1 point apiece. And 7, 8, and 9. One point apiece, 10 questions, 10 points. Here are the breakdown of A, B, C, D, and F. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening.